Good afternoon, welcome to Going to Ground. I thought I'd just film now because I'm about to head into Salisbury for the rest of the day and the evening, where I'm thrilled to say I'm taking an actual physical service for the licensing of a new vicar. And we found a way of doing that with the bare minimum of people and broadcasting the service as we're allowed to those at home. So that's exciting. There are going to be 6 of us gathering, including the new incumbent, the Lord Lieutenant of the county, because the patron of the living is the Queen, and the Archdeacon, and a church warden, and me. And we're going to hold the service there. And although it's not the big celebration that we would like to do and would normally hold at the beginning of a new ministry, I hope there'll be something in the simplicity of this evening's service which will recall us to the heart of what this commissioning is all about. So I'm heading down to Bemerton. That's the parish that I'm licensing to this evening. And you may know that Bemerton is where George Herbert famously was the parish priest. The poet George Herbert in the 17th century was parish priest there. And it was a very different place then, and a small rural benefice on the outskirts of Salisbury, which now includes within it not only the little old village of Bemerton, but the estate of Bemerton Heath, and the new development on the outside of Salisbury called St Peter's Place. So there's a huge amount of new housing and a great work to be done, and a great new incumbent coming in. So I just thought I'd read to you a little bit of George Herbert this afternoon. In Herbert's poetry, there's a wonderful sense of his own wonder at the significance of each person in the eyes of God, even though the world is so vast. And he explores that remarkable link between the littleness of our lives and the greatness of the heavens and of God and of the universe. But he doesn't let that intimidate him or make him feel insignificant, but rather wonders that he has a place in it all, if that makes sense. Because you can take one's own smallness, we can take 2 ways, can't we? We can either think, well, therefore, what on earth are we? Our life is nothing. Or actually wonder that we are significant, given the scale of what we behold. And this poem called The Temper captures that scale. So I thought I'd read it to you. The language, of course, it's 500 years old, so the language kind of fades in and out of familiarity to us, but there are some really lovely lines, particularly the last one, I think. The Temper. How should I praise thee, Lord? How should my rhymes gladly engrave thy love in steel, if what my soul doth feel sometimes, my soul might ever feel? Although there were some 40 heavens or more, sometimes I peer above them all, sometimes I hardly reach a score, sometimes to hell I fall. Oh, rack me not to such a vast extent, those distances belong to thee. The world's too little for thy tent, a grave's too big for me. Wilt thou meet arms with man, that thou dost stretch a crumb of dust from heaven to hell? Will great God measure with a wretch? Shall he thy stature spell? O let me, when thy roof my soul hath hid, O let me roost and nestle there, then of a sinner thou art rid, and I of hope and fear. Yet take thy way, for sure thy way is best. Stretch or contract me, thy poor debtor, this is but tuning of my breast to make the music better. Whither I fly with angels, fall with dust, thy hands made both, and I am there. Thy power and love, my love and trust, make one place everywhere. I love that last couplet. It's almost like, because he talks about, will you meet arms with humanity? And it's almost as if he says, thy power and love, God's power and love, as God's arm outstretched to us. And then my love and trust, the somewhat smaller, shorter arm stretched back and holding hands. And in that contact, that connection with eternity, one place, our situation, wherever you are, wherever I am, is linked up and made and everywhere. God bless you as you go to ground.